Yeah. 12.4.
That was good. I said 12,000.
Yeah, not bad.
The lady in the office, I looked in there and she just.
I didn't weigh him in.
It's not scrap.
All right, so we're here with Brandon.
Brandon, yes,
Brandon, and we thought the only fitting place to do the video would be at V&R. Not that this is a piece of scrap, this is a beautiful piece of art, but what is it?
It's technically a 1953 Mack.
Nice.
That's what it's registered as. There's about 2 cabs in there, so you pick your poison.
Nice. Let's get into it. Here we go. So, first of all, is it yours?
No.
No, okay.
I'm the friend of the guy who built it. His name is Blaine Ford. He owns Cambridge Tire in Cambridge, Ontario. And this is one of his creations.
Nice. So, but you helped work on it?
Not a lot, but a little bit. I helped him with a couple choices and decisions. And then this was pretty much his idea. So it's a 1952 Mack. It's actually 2 cabs cut apart, welded together, and then custom sheet metal around it to make the suicide reverse.
Okay.
So you can pretty much see a weld seam here. That's factory sheet metal. This is just a piece of sheet metal. Door jamb was all cut out of it. Front's factory. That's all just sheet metal. Only the door jamb is factory here. And then all just sheet metal, and then the back was shortened, I think 6 inches, so it'd actually narrow up a bit just to kind of get the cab to fit.
Okay.
And then yeah.
Cummins, obviously. So what's the frame?
It's a 95 3500 single axle that he threw the duals on.
Okay.
It's stretched 4.5 feet, just cut it right in half, stretch it. All done in a shop where it's like, it was built this specific length because if you made it an inch longer, the garage door wouldn't close. It was pretty much touching the bench at his old shop, and like you close the rear door and you'd be lucky to put your hand behind it.
That's awesome. It is a purpose-built vehicle though, so he uses it all the time?
He does. He'll hook up his 40-foot camper to it and he'll go camping with it. He went up to Algonquin. Yes, you know what I'm trying to say. He'll hook up his little float, 18-foot float up to the Pinto. He'll tow cars with it. He'll move customer vehicles. He'll hook up his 28-foot enclosed and actually moves it and uses it as a vehicle.
So the flatbed originally it was supposed to have a 5th wheel?
Yeah, it wasn't actually going to even have any flatbed or anything on it. He was just going to put a big tractor trailer 5th wheel plate on it.
Okay.
That was it, and then good as go. Because they're all the same kingpin size, right? From a 5th wheel camper to a big transport trailer. So versatile in towing, what he wanted to use it for, and
okay.
Then
but then the ramp truck idea came on.
He just kind of had the stuff, had the idea, and then I had sold him a bunch of used storage racking 4 or 5 years ago. And he had a bunch of it laying around. Like those are 12-foot beams off of stuff they used to hold food products in a warehouse.
That's awesome. And step bars are the ramps?
So yeah, the step bars are actually the ramps. There's 2 bolts that come off.
Yeah.
There's a toolkit in the back, one of the back seats, because there's 2. Where the rear tire's sitting, that actually just pops right off as well. And it just plugs right into here, sits underneath, and it's used as a mud flap. Nice and simple. So
what kind of mud flap has holes in it?
It's a mud flap. It's legal, okay?
It has a 40% chance of the stone hitting one of the angle bars and not hitting the windshield behind you.
The book say like it needs to have mud flaps that cover the tires for rock chips? It doesn't say that they can't have a hole in it or 5. Right?
That's awesome. So now we put the ramp on it. Oh, and I see. So he left the hole in there so he can unbolt the 5th wheel plate, but he can still put the 5th wheel plate on it.
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
And then that little bracket just fits inside. That's not a fuel tank, by the way. That's storage. Toolbox.
Let's take a look. And a belt right out of the... with a spring, nice. Yeah.
So this battery, then it's got the air compressor, has airbags in the back for suspension.
Yep.
And then the other side's just storage. So those are little weird brackets. Trailer pin into the stock trailer hitch. 2 bolts to hold up the back of the ramp just for secure.
Yep.
And then they just kind of fit in there after a little bit of horseplay.
Okay.
That's in the NOS bottle.
NOS bottle, that's the air tank.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a NOS metal, some people think, but that might get too much.
Nitrous oxide. It's not NOS.
His words, not mine. It was just for the people.
So how long did the truck part take to build? Like how long did you help
2
them?
years till running and driving.
Okay, that's not bad.
And then it's been about 4.5, 5 years now to get where it is now.
Okay, so it's constantly working on it.
Always.
So it's not finished.
Is a project ever finished?
Do you go out with him often or no?
Here and there.
Yeah?
I take it, he takes it. We both end up at the same show somehow.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those days. But we've been loud. There's always that one kid that randomly shows up and never leaves, but he's the most useful thing around, and he's always down to learn. That was me.
Nice.
So I've gotten to help out with a lot of cool stuff, aka this, and that, or I get to learn a lot of skills of, for example, air suspension. I didn't know it was so simple, and this is the most simple you can get. 2 ball valves, and that's it. And working jig as well off the same compressor.
Really? Yeah. How does that work?
Pull up on that switch.
So how does that feed it? Oh, it's just in the exhaust?
Just right into the exhaust.
Yeah. What's that gauge?
That's your air pressure in the rear end.
Okay.
That's also on some old vehicle that I don't know.
Yeah.
Swap meet things.
Yeah. We gotta go into the second exit because we won't make the first corner.
Parking lots are not its friend.
No. Well, neither is first and second for me. Like, he just needs to, just bend the handle on it. Does it mind if I heat this up and just bend it a little bit?
I said the same thing. First through fourth, I punched myself in the knee.
Yeah. Okay, engine stuff. Obviously 12 valve Cummins, it's on a Dodge frame, so you don't have to change any mounts or anything.
Nope, all stock factory Dodge. The donor truck for it, I don't even know if it had a fuel plate in it.
Okay.
When I first bought the donor truck, you had to put the foot to the floor to start it.
Okay.
So he put a fuel plate back in it. It's all stock injectors. The only thing that I'm pretty sure is different is this is a turbo off a 6.7.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Other than that, it's all stock.
Right on.
Other than a custom radiator.
Yep.
So, custom built radiator that he made, a guy, I think out in Woodstock made.
Okay.
That was an expensive piece.
Yeah, and that's too bad because really you don't have to worry about heat in the Cummins. They run so efficiently. I've never actually seen one overheat.
I think it was more so just to find the right size.
Okay.
The standard radiators, they're long this way, so you'd have to turn it up.
Right.
And then it'd be hanging down or too far down and whatnot, right? This one still hangs down a little ways, but you can't see it with the guardrail front bumper.
Right. Do you have the hood for it?
We do have the hood, and we do have the corner pieces because the hood's just a butterfly hood.
Right.
But we had initially measured it with a different size of fenders because there was 2 sizes, a longer one and a shorter one. So the longer one, which was one that was around the shop. So that's what he used for measuring.
Yeah.
These ones were backyard or something at his house, so he didn't know.
And he assumed that they were the same?
Yep. Well, when you're looking at it one when you're at work, and then you go home and you look at the other one.
Good.
Good to go, right? You don't see that there's like 8 inches difference, 6 inches difference.
Oh, that's what this is.
That's the difference.
Oh, I see.
Right? Yeah. So.
Well, it fits the bumper better.
Now. But it turned into this look, right?
Yeah,
It fits it perfectly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I don't know if he'll ever actually put the hood on it.
Okay.
We'd have to probably remake this side piece here just to kind of accommodate a little bit better with the corner piece and the hood matching up.
Yeah.
But that's simple, right?
Yeah.
This is made out of like the standard shelving that you have that's held together with nut and bolt. That's what that is.
Okay, yeah. And then transmission?
G56 all stock.
Okay.
Didn't even look at it. He just kind of threw it in.
Sub fluid. Yeah, it's got fluid in it. Good enough.
Got fluid.
Yep.
Threw it in.
Yeah.
Stock clutch. Didn't even change the clutch. I think actually he might have put the clutch in it.
Okay.
And just stock clutch, CarQuest factory.
Nice.
No big deal.
Yeah.
We'd like to put a bigger clutch in it, but
Okay. And then it's still 4-wheel drive?
still 4-wheel drive.
Nice,
No
nice.
Bluetooth drive shafts either. It actually does work.
Sick. Right on. And then we got air conditioning?
Yeah. In the early 50s, you didn't have fancy things that blow on you that gave you AC. So this was your air conditioning. And if you wore a skirt, it sucked for you. It just.
Or it was really good.
I really would love to know where this came off of, like, what highway that came off of. Because it's an old guardrail, right?
Oh, right.
I don't know where he got it.
Mm.
And it's a 1/4-inch thing. I feel sorry for somebody.
12,000 pounds. It's definitely not light.
No, not with the car on the back of it.
No. And like you said, that's about 2,500 pounds. So yeah.
Yeah.
And it does have radio though.
It does have radio. That's the only. That's
Which you might hear once in a while.
You might have to climb up
Right
in
here at
there.
a
Go
stop
ahead.
sign.
So the radio's actually back here. It's behind the seats, sandwiched in between, but it's an old Mack coat. So it's just stuffed back in here and Bluetooth connectors. There you go. Don't want to get copyright. Capistrang. Oh.
And then a winch on it too yet?
Yes,
It's
sir.
got everything. Wow.
Well, we've driven the Plymouth up there a few times.
And it's scary.
Oh, you can't see nothing.
No.
You see the top of the tires, that's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And being a taller guy, because he's a little bit of a shorter and stockier guy, so being a taller guy, your knees are like surrounding the steering wheel. I can't drive that on the road, and I'm only 6 feet tall. And like, he can peek out the window and see the ramp.
Yeah.
Me, no.
Nice.
It doesn't exist.
That is very awesome. I love every piece of this thing. That is, you know what? It's just so cool. The amount of tension that this thing must get.
Unreal.
Like, yeah.
I've missed exits on the highway because cars fly up past you, see it. They roll back beside you and you see them. They're just sitting with their phones out the window. And you're like, move, I gotta get out of the way. I need that exit.
Yeah. So this is also storage?
Yeah,
Where's
the
the fuel
side's
tank?
also storage. It uses a stock Dodge tank.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just kind of hidden away back here,
Oh,
stock
yeah,
filler
yeah,
neck and
Yeah.
everything. You can see the stretch part. It's only stretched about 4.5 foot.
Yeah.
So just a couple tubes. quarter inch.
Not even like a solid piece of C or anything.
No, just a solid tube.
Whatever, just weld whatever's laying around.
When it was done right, it's still braced. It's,
Okay,
it's
alright.
insanely strong.
Okay.
It's been running and driving now for 2 years, and he
Nice.
does use it.
That is awesome.
And like, it doesn't really break. And even if it does, it's so readily
Does it keep it at the Cambridge Tire
Yes.
store? Yeah. So if you want to see it in person, definitely go check out Cambridge Tire. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It touched it.
I touched it.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
I think so.
You think so? You're gonna
Yeah.
pay for it? I don't
You're
wanna
fine.
pay
You're
for it.
fine.
Jump up on the front.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
How do you take a coffee?
Double.
Oh, can I get a medium double and 2 regulars? 2 medium regulars. Thank you.
Be sure to scream. There you go. might be the first drafter that's actually ever gone through.
Oh yeah? Well, it's documented, so it's true. Got it. Cup holders.
Yeah,
We're all set.
We do up here, yeah. He didn't have much time, so he goes, build me a center console for the Mack. He's like, okay, what do you want? Hardwood skids, reclaimed hardwood skids. Like, all right, that's gonna be a pain in my ass, but sure.
Yep.
So, simple, make a box.
Yep.
Right? And then it's just got like the seat mounts for the overhead,
Yeah.
or the flip up like that.
Yeah.
So it just bolted to that. And I built this pretty much out of hardwood reclaimed skids.
Yeah.
But do you know how hard that is to work with that crappy wood?
You have like pre-drill the holes and yeah.
Well, even taking the skids apart, you're lucky if the skids don't fall apart.
Yeah,
Those
that's right.
boards.
That's right.
So I made one that was 2 pieces because I couldn't really get it in and out easier. It was just a pain in the arse. So I said, screw it. I'm gonna make one out of sheet metal, and that'll be my first intricate sheet metal piece.
Nice.
So underneath is just 1 piece of sheet metal.
Yeah.
And I was very happy with it. Like, it's actually contoured and like measurements were fine. I was like, I'm proud of myself. I did something right.
Nice.
And then I just covered it in license plates.
Yeah.
I figured it was suiting.
All right, so that's right up there with like top 5, I think, for sure.
I'm sure you'll be happy with that.
Yeah. It's so cool, so unique, like a one of a kind. I love all the little touches that makes it personal. The belts on the springs in the old fuel tanks, like all that little stuff. Just that's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brendan, thank you very much for showing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, awesome. If you guys have anything like this, whether it's small, if you did an engine swap in an old Volkswagen, or you go to this extremes, definitely hit us up on the website, thebossgarage.com. You can submit your rides, then we know where your address is. If you're local to Southern Ontario, we'd love for you to come by and go for a Timmies run and just check over your projects, because we appreciate all the work and the effort and the love that goes into vehicles like this. On top of that, we've got a couple trips planned. We bought a couple trucks down in California. Our road trips are some of the most fun trips that we've ever had. We got a lot of work done while we're on the road. We basically built the Bronco before we came home with it. So we're going to be traveling back and forth to Vegas, Costa Mesa, and Pismo Beach a few times this winter, working on a vehicle, and then driving that vehicle home at the after Ellis Fest West. So if you're ever in that area, or you draw a line between Vegas and Southern Ontario, Canada, definitely check out the website, because we might be driving right past in the spring, and we'll be hanging out for a few weeks at random intervals in, like I said, Vegas, Pismo Beach, and Costa Mesa. So, thebossgarage.com. Submit those rides.